Hello everyone, welcome to your chemistry classroom. I am Lawal Etunye, your chemistry tutor. To our returning viewers, welcome back to your classroom. To our new viewers, welcome to the classroom, chemistry classroom. Please do well to press the subscribe button, turn on your notification button, do well to like and share our program. Likewise, put your comments in the comment box. Our NECO season 2025 continues, chemistry practical also continues. We have released videos on qualitative analysis, and this time around we are releasing our second video on the qualitative analysis. The first video we released on qualitative analysis was discussion of what we will be expecting with the source given. But this time around we are now bringing out a comprehensive report when we carried out the experiment in our preparation room. Now here I am with you with the report of the experiment we carried in our preparation room for this sort analysis that you also call qualitative analysis. It always appears in question 2, that's why I said question 2. And what was our observation when we were carrying that, myself and my team? What was the observation that we saw when we were preparing all this and when we were carrying out all this experiment? Now here we are. We have sample C. We said sample C plus it. We took the sample, we placed the sample C, part of it on it. What we saw brown gas. We saw brown gas evolved and with irritating smell. And that one, whenever you are seeing any brown gas with irritating smell, we don't need to be doubting that shows, or that's an indication that there is a presence of nitrogen peroxide they call NO2. NO2 is one present there. So that is a symbol that NO2 is present. That's why we say NO2 is present from NO3 minus. With the opposite time, sample C plus distilled water. When we added sample C, that's a part of it, we put it inside our test tube with water. What we got was that it dissolves. That sample dissolves and gives a colorless solution. That's why you can see also in my report that it said that it dissolves to give a colorless solution. And that from there, we notice that since it can dissolve and be soluble, so C is a soluble salt. Now, that same portion again, we have added water to it now, it has become a solution. Now, when it has become a solution, we pick up our litmus paper, especially blue litmus paper. When we did that, it turns blue litmus paper to red. For it to have turned blue litmus paper to red, that's the characteristics of acid. So from there we concluded, myself and my team, we concluded that this solution C is acidic in nature. That is acidic. Now solution C again, when we added sodium hydroxide solution to it, what we saw in that particular portion, we did it twice. In front of us added drops. Later we did it in excess. When we did that of drops, what we saw was that white precipitate was formed. That's why I'm writing white precipitate is formed. And what we were suspecting, we suspected it could be calcium 2-ion or lead 2 ions. And when we did that in essence, what we saw was that the precipitate dissolves and we saw colorless solution. We saw colorless solution, and that one gave us a full confidence that this is lead 2 plus present in that particular solution. And from there again, we did the same thing. Another portion, we added ammonia to it in drops and also in excess. When we added drops to it, what we saw was that a white precipitate is formed. We saw white precipitate forming there. We saw it formed. So from there we said the 2 plus again present. But when it was in excess, what we saw was that when it was in excess, we saw that it could not be soluble. It was insoluble. We can still see the trace at the bottom of our solution inside the test tube. So from there we concluded that since it is insoluble, it's still the 2 plus that can do that in the presence of ammonia in excess. Now we want to move to the number 6, solution C. Solution C plus dilute hydrochloric acid. What we saw when we carried it out, we saw that white precipitate is formed. That's why I'm saying white precipitate is formed. From there, our inference, we said that the 2 plus ion presence. Now, during this addition of diluted CL, we now did two things apart from addition of diluted CL. We added, we placed it on each. When we placed it on each, what we saw was that the precipitate disappeared. The precipitate disappeared. And from there, we were like thinking like, what can it be? What could it be? So in that situation, we put layer 2 plus present. You can put layer 2 plus suspect. You may be suspecting it. But something that happened, we now calm down. Let's calm down. Let's see what will happen. If it is cool. We give like 5 to 6 minutes. What we saw was that we can still see that settlement again. We saw the precipitate coming back, reappearing. So from there we now conclude that the precipitate reappeared during cooling. That is on cooling. That is when you allow it to get cool, you will see the precipitate back. That is, in that sense, we now compare no story for the precipitate to come back. It is layer 2 plus confirmed. We now confirm that this solution seal, it contains cation called layer 2 plus. That's why we confirm layer 2 plus. Now, moving to solution D. What we did for solution D, we put part of the sample D on a dry spatula and it on a flame. On our boiling boiler, we place it on the flame, and what we saw that the thing was burning. And as it was burning, we saw the particular flame called lilac flame. And whenever you see lilac flame, is an identity that tells that potassium is in a particular salt. Potassium is in a particular salt. That's what we noticed, and that's what we got. So that's why we said our inference is potassium present. Potassium present. If we like, they say potassium, or this is potassium salt. You're also correct. Now, please do well to watch the video till the end. The video is not long. Please do well to watch to the end and get your better information. Now, we have sample D plus distilled water. Sample D plus distilled water. What happened when we added it to this distilled water? What we saw that it dissolves to give a colorless solution. From there, we now conclude that it is a soluble salt. And solution D. Now, at this moment, okay, but before we move to divide into 3 portions, we still use litmus paper to test it to see its action on litmus paper. What we noticed or what we saw, what we observed was that it turns red litmus paper blue. For it to have turned red litmus paper blue, definitely it is base in nature. It is alkaline in nature. That's why we concluded, myself and my team, we concluded that solution D is alkaline, is a base. Now, we divided the solution into 3 portions. We have a portion that we added acidified KMnO4. We have another portion. We added barium chloride, and we have another one we added dilute hydrochloric acid. Now, I'll be giving you the response based on what we observed on each of the test tubes. The one that we added acidified KMnO4, what we observed, what we saw that the purple color, KMnO4 purple color, the purple color of KMnO4 was decolorized. When it is colorized, for it to have decolorized, what you are telling us that you are reducing it. So D is a reducing agent. It's a reducing agent. Now the second portion, the one that contains barium chloride. The one that we added barium chloride to. What we saw as our observation was that after pouring that barium chloride into that solution D, our report was that we saw white precipitate formed. So that's why I can say white precipitate is formed, and from there, what are those things we were suspecting that it could be the anions present or the gas present that can, when barium chloride has been added, we say we have SO4 2-, it can be SO4 2-, it can be CO3 2-, it can even be SO3 2-. That's why we say any of this can be your answer. So that's why I said SO2-, SO4 2-, CO3 2-, or SO3 2-. present. Any one of them is present. And lastly, we have the third portion that we added dilute hydrochloric acid that we poured it on. That one solution G plus dilute HCl, and what was our observation? This one very funny, very interesting, because we saw like we observed like 2 or 3 things there. And what are those observations? The first observation was that after pouring hydrochloric acid on it, we saw the white precipitate dissolved. We saw that white precipitate dissolved and colorless gas. I take it again. Solution D plus dilute HCl. What we saw was that the white precipitates of that solution dissolved. Well, after dissolving, what happened? Colorless gas with an irritating smell. Colorless gas with an irritating smell evolved. That is, we are now seeing the colorless gas. We can perceive colorless gas, irritating smell. That something is smelling here. But we could not see that gas, very colorless gas. And from there, and what we now notice that we brought our litmus paper around the environment. And what we noticed that it turned our blue litmus paper to faintly red. So from there we now notice that something is here. For this litmus paper to have turned, from this blue litmus paper to have turned red, definitely this thing has acidic properties. And definitely for it to have acidic properties, it will be acidic gas, acidic anhydride. So definitely from there we now confirm that no story, this is SO2 with that smell. SO2 gas from SO3 2 minus is confirmed. That's how we got all our response that I'm presenting right now, which have been carried out by myself and my team in our preparation room. So if there is any other information that we need to pass across to you based on qualitative analysis that also calls SWOT analysis, we also bring it to your video. Please turn on your notification button. Why am I saying this? Because we release video almost every time, every day. We release video based on information. And remember, information is the key. Information is also power. So that's why I say turn on the notification button. As we receive information, our own is to give it out to you. And your own is to catch it as fresh as it is. Turn on your notification button. Press the subscribe button. Do well to share our link with your friends, especially those that are writing the exam. Let them also have distinction. As you also are preparing to have your own distinction, do well to put your comment in the comment box. Do well to put it there. Maybe observation, what we have omitted, or is it maybe plus or minus? Just put comments in the comment box so that we know that we are together. I'll be waiting for you in the next video. Bye for now.